بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who enabled us to gather today here for this wonderful khutbah. The second last Friday of the month of Ramadan. Our topic today is اغتنام العشر الأواخر من Ramadan. How to benefit the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. First I will thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then secondly I will thank to our imams who gave us this chance to talk to the Muslim Ummah today. من لم يشكر الناس لا يشكر الله. If you don't thank to human being, then you don't thank to God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled us to reach this holy month of Ramadan, which is once in every year, 12th month. So the best month of the 12th month. Then the last 10 days, which started last night, 21, which is the best 10 days in the month of Ramadan. So we like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who enabled us to be among the people who reached the month of Ramadan in the year 2025. Then who will make us among the people who reached the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. That is one of the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because of time, we will summarize our khutbah. This is pre-khutbah. A summary of the khutbah in English and Kiswahili, we mix both so that we understand each other. Then after that, we read the khutbah in Arabic, less than 10 minutes. And my brothers in Islam, time is flying. And every day and every second in your life, you are closing to the grave and to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We started the other day, the month of Ramadan. Today is 21st of Ramadan. I wish people should count the way we are counting the month of Ramadan, other days also. But after 11 months, when it is about to month of Ramadan, that is the time when people realize after 1 month or 2 months, the Ramadan is coming again. But when we start the month of Ramadan, we start every day. That is why the ulama are saying, إنما أنت أيام كلما ذهب يوم ذهب بعضك. Our life span starts from second. And if you add up a minute, if you add up an hour, if you add up a day, 12 hours, if you add up a month, then the month if you add up a year. So sometimes you ask yourself, are you growing older and older? Or you are becoming young and young and young? Which and which? Because tuseme life yako Mwenyezi Mungu amekupangia 50 years. You have spent 45 years. You remain with how many years? 5 years. So you are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and your days is numbered. So we are not growing, we are going closer to God. That is the reality of the Quran. So the older you are, the closer you are to the grave. That's why we say every human being contains 4 20s. 20, 20, 20, 20. The first 20 is learning and growing. When you are 1 year old to 20 years old. Then the second 20, it is time now to marry and have kids and do a lot of work. Buying land, constructing, development. That's the second 20. Are we together? Then the third 20, we start from 40 to 60. Kama ulioa miaka 20, mtoto wake wa kwanza sahihi anataka kuoa ama msichana wako anataka kuolewa. Sasa umekuwa mzee wa boma. Hapo sasa unaanza kuarrange sasa kuozesha watoto na ukoe mzee wa boma. So that's now from 40 to 60. Are we together? Yes. Then from 60 now, you're retired. Hapo ndio sasa unaenda kwa garage, repairment. Macho haifanyi, mguu haifanyi, mgongo haifanyi. Diabetic pressure. That is now 60 to 80. Then from 80 to 100, then I think you are in the bed. So ukifanya this calculation now and ask yourself, how old are you? 40? That is the time now kusoma na kuoa na kujenga, time yake imeisha. So by the time you're supposed to be the father of the family and the father of the society, that is the time maybe you are starting your life and you want to marry and you are upside down. So this 40, 20, 20, 20 is so crucial and very important, so that we notify. You know, our Kenya system of education, by the time you are finishing your degree, 24, 25, then unatafuta kazi another 6 years, that years. So the first 20 imeenda, add 10 years, 30 years imeenda. So wakati ya sasa kujenga na kulea watoto inaanza from 45. That's why we are saying you have to calculate your time very well. Very important before you grow old and old. That's why we are saying every minute and every second of your life, make sure you utilize to the maximum. العبد الموفق من أدرك أن حسن النهاية يدرس تقصير البداية. The most gifted person is somebody who is calculating very well to the end of your life. The more you are becoming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you think of husnul khatima. How will be the calculation? That's why in the last 10 days of Ramadan, why are we emphasizing more? Why the Prophet ﷺ was emphasizing more on the last 10 days? It is the khatima of the month. Conclusion of the month of Ramadan. Then there's a day which is coming also, the conclusion of your life span, 40, 50, 60 years. So every day that is coming to your life, it's an important day. For us now to make sure we benefit to the maximum the last 10 days of Ramadan, we start point number 1, كثرة الاجتهاد. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يجتهد في العشر الأواخر ما لا يجتهد في غيره. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was working hard to make more ibadah, more than he was doing the first 20 days of Ramadan. So kama ni kusoma Quran, you have to double it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور. In that verse, 3 things were mentioned: reciting the Holy Quran, sadaqah, and salah. 3 things. That's why the ijtihad of the Prophet ﷺ, mostly in the month of Ramadan, more so on the last 10 days of Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ used to do a lot of ibadah. Then the month of Ramadan is the month Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Holy Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Let us ask ourselves, in the month of Ramadan, 21 days today, how many times you finish the Holy Quran from Baqarah to Nas? It's a big question to ask yourself. This is Shahr al-Quran, the month of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. So to that point, we divide people into so many levels. There are those who recite every day 1 juz. They finish once in the whole month. There are those who recite 2 juz every day, twice in a month. Those who recite 3 juz every day, that is, every 10 days you finish 1 time the Holy Quran. There are those who recite the Holy Quran 4 juz and 4.5 juz. Every 7 days you finish the Holy Quran from Baqarah to Nas. There are those who have gone to university and graduated, they recite the Holy Quran every day, 10 juz. Wonderful. إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله. So reciting the Holy Quran in the month of Ramadan, you have to double it. So which group are you belong to? 1 juz, 2 juz, 3 juz, 4.5 juz, and 10 juz every day. There are some people who are with us, and it's not a miracle for you to recite the Holy Quran, because if you memorize at early age, 1 juz, if you can read very fast, you can finish 15 to 10 minutes of your time. There are some people who are reciting the Holy Quran today and they're living with us in Nairobi. Every day 10 juz. That is every 3 days. Okay, suppose you know the Holy Quran only 1 juz or 2 juz or 3 juz. You are still lucky enough. Because you can recite that juz every day once. That means you have finished the Holy Quran once. There is a great alim during the time of the Tabi'in, is called Abdullah bin Idris. When he was on the bed, almost closing to death, one of his daughters cried. Abdullah bin Idris. He died 192 Hijrah. So when the daughter cried, he said, "My daughter, don't cry. Because in this majlis, in this house, I finished 4,000 times of khatma of the Holy Quran." Wonderful. 4,000 times. So me and you, we have a lot of problem back at home. Misunderstanding, complaint, no satisfaction in life. Mtoto ndio huyu sasa anataka kusikiliza, mama ndio anapiga kelele. The more you increase hiyo bili yake na nafaka yake, the more she is complaining. Complication up and there. So the question is, how many times have you recited the Holy Quran in your house? That's a question. Because ukisoma hiyo Quran usiku before Fajr prayer, unasoma juzi 2, juzi 3 na unasoma kwa tahlil, kwa maji, so that watoto wako pia wasome ile Quran na baraka na ruqya. I'm sure that house will be a blessed house. Less problem and more understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you health and wealth and knowledge. Suppose you die before you memorize the Holy Quran. God has given you these eyes. Without eyes you cannot do anything. If God asks you tomorrow, I gave you health and wealth and everything, what have you done? How will you answer the question? Or maybe you become a blind before you die. How will you recite the Holy Quran? Just recently I was with a guy who is blind. He became blind at the age of 6 years. But he memorized the Holy Quran and he reads overhead. It's like me and you. So what is your plan to make hifz the Holy Quran? What is your plan? Very important question to ask ourselves. Because all the titles that we have, we leave it here. All the names we have, we leave it here. All the wealth that we have, we leave it here. The end and the conclusion will be that small grave that everybody will be asked that question: what have you done to your religion? How did you divide your time? إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله. So in these categories now, if you know only 1 juz, make sure that juz you finish every day. You know 2 juz, make sure you finish those 2 juz every day. Visit the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة. Salah is divided into 2, wajib and sunnah. The 30 days of the month of Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ, there is a hadith, a sahih hadith. He's saying that if you pray the first line 40 days with the takbiratul ihram, when Imam is saying Allahu Akbar, you say behind him Allahu Akbar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you 2 great rewards. Bara'a min al-nifaq wa bara'a min al-nar. Wonderful. You will not become a hypocrite and you will not enter hellfire. Let us do our calculation. 21 days has gone. How many times did you pray the jama'ah behind the imam? When imam is saying Allahu Akbar, you say Allahu Akbar. One of the great alim, he said, 40 years of my life I have never missed a jama'ah.